So three of us are going to talk. I'll go first, and Patricia, and then the governor, and then we'll take questions. But again, thanks so much for being here. I think when I think about today, I think about, life's all about going full circles, and it seems like that happens over and over again, and you don't expect it. But this, for Larry, this is a full circle day. 5 years ago, I was in the House of Delegates, sitting just a couple of seats away from Delegate Burkhammer, who hopefully will be here in a little bit. And that's when Hope Scholarship was passed. And to take you back to 2021 was a time where Washington absolutely went nuts. That's COVID time, right? They were doing a lot of really, really bad stuff. But back here in West Virginia, we were doing good stuff. And we did two things in that particular session that I think would transform West Virginia for generations to come. The first thing we did was appropriate the money to bring Nucor to Mason County, transforming Mason County, Putnam County, and Cabell County, bringing thousands of jobs to that area, billions of dollars in investments that absolutely will transform that area. Of course, I'm a little older, but I don't remember what it was like when Union Carbide came to South Charleston back in the 1920s, but this must be what it feels like. It's just absolutely amazing. But the other big thing that we did in the 21 session was we passed Hope Scholarship. We absolutely set the scale for the entire United States as to what education freedom should look like. And not only did we pass it after it gets tossed back and forth between the Senate and the House, we made it 5 years hence universal eligibility for all K through 12 students. And that's what we're celebrating today. It was a vigorous debate. It was a tough debate. But again, we're very, very proud to finally get to this day. And a lot of us have been counting this time ever since. So just absolutely amazing. And in the last year or so, as I travel West Virginia, I get to meet with a lot of Hope families, a lot of parents. And there's so many fantastic stories of how this is transforming lives in West Virginia. Whether it's the grandmother in Mercer County who talks about raising her two grandchildren by herself. And when she found out that her grandchildren could go to a school that had the same faith as her, have smaller classes and discipline she thought her grandchildren needed, she said that with tears, but it was tears of joy. Or the mother in Greenbrier County with the two daughters that felt like they needed more structure and how they really just came out of their shells after being able to take a different path in their education. We've met a number of times with the diocese, with the bishop, and how that's impacting not the Catholic schools, but the families of Catholic schools. More families can take an opportunity. They didn't have that opportunity. They couldn't even have a discussion around the breakfast table because they didn't have the money. Hope is changing lives. So again, thank you so much for being here, for celebrating this day. It is just absolutely amazing that we finally made it. Now, when we came out and gave our legislative priorities back in November, our number one was protect hope. And so very thankful for that we've been able to do that. We've done it with the governor's help, with the senator's help. We appreciate the discussions that we had with both finance committees. We appreciate Chairman Chris, Chairman Barrett, and their committees, the staff, all the conversations we have, because every dollar we spend in West Virginia should be vetted. It should be discussed. And so we really felt like we did a really good job there. We really appreciate the team effort it took to get to this resolution of the really one change we think we'll get through, which is quarterly payments instead of semi-annual payments, which will take pressure off the state budget, therefore takes pressure off the program. All good stuff. So again, thank you. Governor Morsi really helped with that as well, kind of his revenue department, talking about what a good thing it is. So we really do appreciate that. So again, hope is a team effort. Legislation is a team effort. Funding is a team effort, but really everybody came together. Now we'll have bigger discussions in the future once we know the number of children in the program, once we know what the total impact to the budget, once we see budget priorities in the future, but we should always have those type of conversations with every program. Today, I want to report to you that starting yesterday, new parents, students can start signing up for 26-27 year. We've had about 14,000 students so far sign up for the program. In the last 24 hours, over 3,000 students sign up. So people are really actively participating in this program. They're making decisions. And remember, when it comes to the education of your children, there's really only one thing more important than the education of your children, and that's your child's faith journey. Parents pray about the education for their children. They talk about it. They worry about it. So when they make these choices, these are weighty choices. And so we're so thankful that parents have decided to take this direction and go this direction. We're going to do everything we can to make the transition application process smooth. Our team is we have a really good team. They're working really, really hard. We're very, very proud of them. But there may be a few bumps in the road between now and June 15th for the time to sign up, because we're human. But we're going to do everything we can to make it as smooth as possible as we get this run up. So again, go to the website. If you're not finding what you need, call our office. We'll do everything we can to walk through. So again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for celebrating with us today. But the other thing I want to mention, the last thing before I introduce Senator Rucker, is that the three of us, we're pro-Hub Scholarship. We're also pro-public schools. We need to give our children the best opportunity, whether it's an education choice or whether it's a public school. Our work's not over. Governor Morrissey's work's not over. Senator Rucker's work's not over. We're going to continue to work to make sure the children have the best choices, whichever direction they take in West Virginia. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the leader of really, I think, school choice in West Virginia. I think that what Senator Rucker has done, not only in West Virginia, but across the country, is just absolutely amazing. She's one of our best advocates for school choice. She's a national leader in this area. We're blessed to have her leading us. We're also blessed to have her in the state of West Virginia. Senator Rucker.
Thank you so much for those kind words, Larry, and thank you. The program would not be able to function without what we call the implementation, which is done under the state treasurers, begun by Riley Moore, and now Larry and Pack, and he has done an amazing job, and I'm very grateful for his entire team. Are there bumps in the roads? Absolutely, but we have worked together to try to overcome those. And when you have a program like this that is the first of its kind in the nation, we're going to be the testing ground. So I think it's been a great journey, and we continue to improve, I think, every day and look for more improvements. I want to really quickly just mention what is hope, where did it come from? And the reason I want to do that is because I think it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget. 2021, nothing like this existed in the country. There were education savings accounts in certain states that were for particular populations, very, very specialized, very, very limited. And I was quite, in envy, like those sound amazing. I would love to see that in West Virginia. But every single one of those programs limited to a certain group. And every time I heard about it, I said, but what about that child outside of that geographic boundary? What about that child who doesn't quite fit that criteria you set in code? What about that child whose parents make $1 over this artificial cap that you've put in? Every time I heard about those limits, my mind automatically went to the children that were not included. So when we did a universal education savings account, when the legislature decided, no, we are not going to discriminate. We are not going to pick winners and losers. We are not going to dictate. We are going to support every West Virginia child's opportunity to get a best education they can get. And if it is a public school, great. And let's make certain the public schools are great. And we have not just kept up the funding, but increased the funding for public education. We always strive to improve and reform public education. But for those who that doesn't fit, that's not what they need, let's try to ensure they also get what they need. And I am more proud of this than probably anything else I've done in my life up to this point, outside of my 5 beautiful children. But I will tell you, my children struggled. We had to make sacrifices. I was not able to offer them everything because one income family, so I could stay home and homeschool them. Hope provides for all children to get what they need, and it makes them the priority. So I am so very grateful for all of you here who are here in support. So very grateful to the many families sacrificing to provide their children with what they need. So very grateful to all the partners that made it possible. And I just have to give a quick shout out to the Cardinal Institute, which was a great partner and also helped so much with the research and information surrounding Hope. And I also want to give a shout out to Americans for Prosperity, who was also a great partner in getting this realization. And then let's not forget, we had a challenge to the law. We had it defended by an amazing, I think, the best Attorney General in the entire country, and who is now the great governor of the state of West Virginia. So as I leave the podium, I'm very grateful and honored to be able to turn to my good friend, amazing Hope supporter, and the greatest governor in the state, in the United States.
Thank you. You know, I could use that introduction wherever I go. So please, Patricia, follow me everywhere. You know, it's nice to be here today. And I want to say, you know, people said, oh, you're going to go over to this event. You know, I like to walk around the Capitol and I like to say hello to people. But when I know that they're going to be some of our best and brightest kids that are coming around, it's pretty cool, right? Listen, we've got a great group of kids here in West Virginia. And when I think about our state's future, all of it is dependent upon the success of our young people. And Hope Scholarship will play an integral role in driving the success of West Virginia. And so when I first learned about Hope, back, I believe, in 5 years ago or so, I know our office immediately went to the law books and we started scrambling around and saying, wait a minute, we have to defend this now. We knew it was going to be coming under attack. But we were eager to jump in and to make the ultimately successful fight. And here's why. I believe that money should follow the child. I believe that competition is good as a base matter, and that when you have kids that get to choose, not based upon a one-size-fits-all mantra, but they get to go to the place that works best for them, that's a difference maker. Kids thrive when they're under the right conditions and when they're able to work with the teachers that they like, they're working with kids that share similar values, when they actually get to have that life that allows them to express themselves. That's what we have here with Hope. Hope is actually a game changer for many, many reasons. First, it's different than what operates in other states. The reason that's so important is West Virginia has to continue to grow its population to survive. I've talked a lot about the economic backyard brawl over the last couple years. And the reason that's so important is whether we like it or not, we're in an economic competition with all the states that we touch. Well, being in a place where we have the best school choice system around matters. It actually keeps kids here and draws more people to West Virginia. When you combine that with what we're trying to do in terms of cutting income taxes and to slice red tape and to invest in infrastructure, that's a powerful combination of ingredients that will allow West Virginia to thrive into the future. But as the treasurer indicated, it's critical to have Hope be successful, but that's not at the expense of public school. We think that you can have a wildly successful program empowering families to make the right decisions, but you can also work constantly to improve our public schools and make sure that educational attainment is great for everyone across the state. It's part of the reason I was very happy to report that House Finance Committee is moving our House Letters bill. That's going to help public education today. That's good too. The science of reading, improving math rates. This is all excellent. We need to be looking at every way to increase excellence in West Virginia. We know that Hope works. We believe that people that go through this process are going to be vast contributors to our society. We know it's great for families. We know it's very attractive to get more people to come in. I was very proud to stand up and defend this law and ultimately to prevail. It wasn't easy, but we were able to do it. As governor, I was proud to make the decision to fully fund Hope. Got lobbied by a lot of people saying no. And I put that in my budget for a reason. I was proud to stand up when it was under attack just a couple weeks ago. And we stood up and we said, no, that's not going to happen. Now we're going to work with people to get good results, but we're never going to do it on the backs of our kids. Our kids are going to be first. We're going to stand strong based upon principle. We will not yield on principle. We will collaborate on wide amounts of policy. So I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you for having me here. Thanks to the kids for showing up. And let me tell you, there's some great things in store for all of you and you and you. And you just wait. The next few years, West Virginia educational attainment numbers are going to be going up, up, up. And I'm glad that Hope and the increased focus on accountability in our public schools, that's going to play a big part of it. So thank you. God bless and appreciate coming here. I'm heading back up. We got another big economic development announcement coming today. It's going to be a record-breaking year, number one year in the last 15. Another big one today. Not quite last week's big one, just so we're level setting here, but really good one for folks. So we're thrilled, and you'll have more again and again and again. Big things in store for West Virginia. Thank you, and God bless. Thank you.
We're now going to open it up for Q&A from the media, if anybody has any questions for Treasurer Pack.
For those who are leaving, thanks so much for coming. Really appreciate it. All good?
So a lot of people say, host scholarship is taking away from opportunities for public schools. You spoke a little bit on it, but can you kind of expand on maybe clarify